Hey there, gang. There it is. That is the April previews catalog. Or actually, it's the February catalog for a product arriving at your local comic book store in April. Going to go through the catalog and let you know what I got, what's on my pull list, and we'll see to what degree it mirrors what's on your pull list. Everything in this catalog, as well as DC Comics, which come out separately from another distributor. So if you like comic books, stick around. We're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghai. My name is Duke, and this is a pull list episode. As I noted in the teaser, we'll be going over all of the books I have pre-ordered for delivery in April. The books arriving at my local comic book store, and yours too. The books I am so confident in that I went ahead and committed to buying them 2 months in advance. So why do I do this? Why do I do this kind of episode? Well, one is to share with you the books that I expect to enjoy, enough so that I'm ordering them in advance. And, it may be a little too late at this point for you to put this, any of these books on your pull list. Should you think, well, that Duke, he's very smart. He's very insightful. He's also probably very handsome. Which is totally a legitimate thing that somebody might think. And you might say, well, if he's going to try that book, maybe I'll put it on my pull list as well. Well, as I said, it's probably a little too late for that. The final order cutoff date has come and gone, but maybe if your store has purchased extra copies, you might go ahead and at least be on the lookout for something based on the fact that somebody else is a fan of that book. Or expects to be a fan of it, at least in the case of a new release, a new series. Second reason I do this is, you can't buy everything, and it could well be that your favorite book is not on my list. And so I would like very much for you to share in the comments below. If there's something that you like, you love, you have it on your pull list, and you don't see it on mine, let me know. I have in the past, added books to my pull list and even become a big fan of books recommended to me through videos such as this. So let's go over the list, and please do like, share, subscribe if any of this is entertaining or instructive to you, and definitely leave a comment below. I am giving away this Smallville PVC set once I reach 247 subscribers. So all you have to do to be entered for a chance to win this is be a subscriber, leave a comment down below. And as I noted, the best thing that you can do, the best comment that you can leave is just let me know, what you're buying that's not on the pull list here that you see. So, DC Comics, by my count, they are releasing 37 comic books in April. I've ordered 10 of them. Some of these are the regular purchases: Batman, Crime Syndicate, Batman Urban Legends, Joker, Superman, and Action Comics. Don't know how much longer I will be with Superman and Action Comics. I kind of bought into those titles based on the fact that Philip Kennedy Johnson is not Brian Michael Bendis. And Philip Kennedy Johnson does have some fans out there on the internet. But what I've read of these Superman books so far, I haven't been particularly impressed with. So this could drop off of my May order. I don't know. Highlighted in green here for you are the books that I added to my list. Green Lantern #1. Initially, I wasn't going to get this book. I was kind of dead set against this, just based on... again, it's where you can be wrong. Impressions can be mistaken, and I presume this was going to be an SJW woke nightmare, just based on the focus on the teen lanterns, these young lanterns of color. So, he is a white nationalist. No. I mean, I appreciate that the book is focusing also on John Stewart. I like John Stewart much better than Hal Jordan. So when the writer of this book, Jeffrey Thorne, created some stir, some controversy by saying that, effectively Hal Jordan's a punk, nobody likes him, from my view, he was not wrong. But anyway, I wasn't going to buy this book. But Thorne did an interview on the Comics by Perch channel, and he seemed like a thoroughly regular and decent guy, and so it's entirely because of that interview that I went ahead and added this book to my pull list. Next, Batman the Dark Knight. I don't know why I ordered this. And at this point, I don't know what it is. Somebody needs to talk to DC about its marketing and branding, quite apart from the fact that there are too damn many Batman books. I think I added up in a previous video that 46% of the DC line is either Batman or Batman adjacent. You have here with Batman the Dark Knight, Batman Urban Legends, and Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, which the May solicitations are already out, so we know that title is coming. You've got 3 books that seem very similar in theme, not just Batman, but the kind of Batman stories they're telling, that all have very similar titles. So, I mean, apart from there just being too damn much Batman, I don't know what DC thinks it's going to accomplish. I don't know how it cannot confuse the hell out of the normies. So I guess it's a good thing that there really aren't any normal, casual consumers of comic books anymore, because none of them would have clue on what the hell's going on. But really, for my money, I mean, you only need 3, maybe 4 Batman books, right? Batman, which would be, super heroics against colorful villains. Detective comics, which would be, a little more of the mystery angle, the detective angle. Maybe Brave and the Bold, a book of that style of Batman teaming up with other DC characters. And then something like Legends of the Dark Knight, which, could be a multiverse, out of continuity, just, significant creators with whatever kind of Batman story they wanted to tell in, 3 or 4 issues or whatever. Which, again, is exactly what Batman the Dark Knight, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, and Batman Urban Legends all seem like they're going to be. So even as I say there's too damn much Batman, I could not resist this Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries book. And, I was a big fan of the Scooby-Doo Team-Up series. Sorry to see that end. I'm a little concerned about the long-term viability of this book. I don't know how many times Scooby-Doo can team up with Batman. It seemed like in the solicitations that this was an ongoing series, although it's a digital first series, and normally those end up being a limited series. So maybe this is not an ongoing series. But again, if it is, I don't know how many times Scooby-Doo can team up with Batman before that gets old and just not special anymore, unless there's enough Batman adjacent characters that maybe he could spend an issue teaming up with a different Batman family member every time. I don't know. And then the last DC book that I added in to my pull list is Challenge of the Super Sons. Big fan of the Super Sons. I am really unclear, however, whether they are de-aging Jonathan Kent for this series, as I think they should, or if this is some kind of alternate Earth thing, or if it's set in the past before John was aged up. I have no idea, but I have really enjoyed the previous Super Sons book, so adding this into my pull list was a no-brainer. All right, moving down here, Marvel Comics, 59 books coming out from Marvel in April, and I'm ordering just 4 of them. Now, the first one, I don't know when in April this is coming out. The solicitation really wasn't clear, and I believe this was initially solicited, back before COVID, more than a year ago, so maybe that's the reason why. But just like DC has too damn many Batman books and, has, the branding and marketing, confusing people with the similarity of those books, Marvel has this book coming out, The Marvels, which, if you're not aware, this is sort of Kurt Busiek's kind of Astro City take on the entire history of the Marvel Universe. But right now it has 2 anthology titles out, which seem very similar, and one is Marvels, plural, no definite article, so it's not The Marvels, it's just Marvels. And then there's another one that is Marvel singular. Right, so on the stands, more or less simultaneously, you've got Marvel, Marvels, and The Marvels. How is that supposed to make a lick of sense to anybody who's not a dedicated fanboy? I don't get it. I don't know. The other 3 Marvel books that I am getting are all regular purchases. We've got Daredevil 29 and Iron Fist Heart of the Dragon number 4, both out on April 14th. And then Black Knight, Curse of the Ebony Blade, number 2, out on April 21st. And then this next book, this one really busted my budget. And I almost didn't add it. And in fact, I probably shouldn't have. And please, for God's sakes, whatever you do, don't tell my wife that I have ordered this book. Because look at that price tag, $150. And, I don't know, Marvel and DC both lately have been dedicated to this, omnibus format. And I don't know who buys those books. Who buys a $120 archival book? I have only ever purchased one when a store has one on sale for like 70% off. But this particular book I couldn't resist because it reprints all of the Marvel comics that were on sale the same month as Fantastic Four #1. So it's a really cool and interesting snapshot in time, featuring a lot of books that, so far as I know, have never been reprinted anywhere in any format. So, it's the only place you can get them outside of the original. So it just seemed like just a really neat, really cool idea. And so I kind of bit the bullet here. In part because it's not actually going to come out until August 11th. It's been advance solicited. So maybe I can save enough money by then. And there's also the fact that I do get a discount at my local store, which will help to mitigate this price a little bit. So this is one of those exception to the rules. This is a massive budget buster. This has basically put me double my regular budget. But I gave in. I couldn't resist. Moving down, Image Comics, 36 books in April, so nearly as many as DC. I've ordered 8. The one new book is Geiger, which is the Jeff Johns book, coming out April 7th. And I don't know. This is another one of those slowing down to watch the train wreck as you drive by kind of books. I don't know how good this is going to be. How good is Jeff Johns without an editor? Which is effectively what Image Comics are. They refer to it as curated self-publishing. So I'll be interested to see how good this book is. There have been a lot of other big-name creators that have gone over to Image lately where their books just aren't that good. So we'll see. The other books that I am getting from Image are all regular purchases that I'm sticking with for now. Deep Beyond #3 and Firepower #10, both out on April 7th. April 14th, we'll see Carmen #2. The 21st, we'll see Radiant Black #3 and Stray Dogs #3. And then on the 28th, we have Bitterroot #12 and Two Moons #3. Bitterroot, I'll take a moment just to talk about that book. I was very high on that series initially. If you're not familiar with it, it's about a family of monster hunters in 1920s Harlem. And it was really very interesting at first because I knew nothing of the Harlem Renaissance era. And in the back of each book would feature these essays by various academians about the Black experience. The problem is that more recent issues, part of the family has taken this swing through southern states, and it's sort of devolved into this, every single white person in the entire planet is a screaming racist, except for the one sycophant cuck that we allow to tag along with us. And then the essays in the back, and I don't know if this is because now they're starting to fold in some white academians, but they're turning into all about, white people are racist. So I'm sort of on the verge of dropping this book, even though I was very high on and very interested in this book to begin with, and liked it very much for the first several issues. Boom Studios, 19 books coming out in April. I've ordered 4 of them. The regular purchases all out on the 21st are Luna #3, Orcs #3, and Spectre Inspectors #3. And then added into that is The Many Deaths of Lila Starr #1 out on April 14th. And the reason I have added this book, it is right in the same zeitgeist of a lot of books that are out recently where it's, a young female protagonist thrown into this strange fantasy world that she needs to work her way through. That's not why I'm buying it. It's just, noteworthy that so many books are pounding this theme lately. But the reason I'm getting it is because it's by Ram V. There are a lot of YouTubers out there, Wes on the Thinking Critical channel, Perch, Joe Corolla. They've all been very high, very effusive about Ram V's Swamp Thing series at DC. And I haven't liked that very much at all. It's been very meh to me. So I thought I would try something else by Ram V. Maybe it's just that I'm not a very big fan of Swamp Thing. Never have been. So maybe that's just not clicking with me because of that. So I wanted to try something else by Ram V just to see why I'm not digging Swamp Thing. Is it me? Is it him? Is it the character? We'll find out. IDW, 20 books coming out in April. I've ordered just one out on April 14th, Kanto and the City of Giants. And if I read the solicitation copy correctly, this is a follow-up to a previous series, but I don't remember ever seeing that previous series solicited. But it looks very much like a fun little, Wall-E kind of a thing. And so we'll see how that goes. Aardvark-Valhalla, one book solicited for April, and I ordered it. Cerebus the Duck #1, out on April 28th. And I swear to you, I even though I was around from the very beginning, I never ordered a single issue of Cerebus, never bought one new. And maybe that's because the book always struck me as being more about Dave Sim, the personality cult of Dave Sim, as opposed to being about the character. And I have, several dozen Cerebus issues, but they're all things that I've acquired through the purchase of large lots at auctions and things like that. But this one, it's some kind of parody of Howard the Duck #1. So talk about striking while the iron is hot, as far as pop culture references go. But it is right in my wheelhouse as far as my Bronze Age sensibility. So I couldn't resist. Give it a try. Moving on, Abstract Studios, one book coming out in April, out on the 28th. Serial is the latest serial by Terry Moore, and I'm a big Terry Moore fan, so that's a no-brainer. Aftershock Comics has solicited 11 books for release in April, and I'm ordering 4 of them, which I think is as many Aftershock books as I've ever purchased in a single month. So we'll have to see if it's worth it. The regular books, Bequest #2 is out on the 21st, and then Nuclear Family #3 and Shadow Doctor #3 are both out on the 28th. And then also on the 21st is The Girls of Dimension 13, which again is another young female protagonist in a fantasy setting thing. We'll see how it goes, but again, this looked to me like kind of an all-girl Scooby-Doo kind of a thing. So we'll see how that goes. Ahoy Comics sees 2 books, 2 series ending in April, and those are 2 of the 3 books they are soliciting. The third one is the Second Coming Anti-Jesus book, which I did not pre-order, but these other 2 books, one is my favorite book being published out of any company right now, and the other one I sort of disliked intensely and wish I hadn't bought it. So the good one is The Wrong Earth, Night and Day #4, and I say it's the last issue. Maybe this has 5 issues. I'm not 100% sure. That comes out April 21st, issue #4. And then Happy Hour #6, I believe that is the last issue of that series, and that's a Peter Milligan thing about a dystopian world where the government mandates that everybody be happy, and it was just pretty bad. I don't have anything good to say about that. The only reason I kept ordering it is, by the time I got the first issue, figured, well, I'll give it a second chance, second issue. By this point, I'm already pre-ordered up to issue 4 or 5, and I'm like, well, might as well get them all. And that way, if I decide to ever purge the thing from my collection, which I, almost certainly will, it'll be easier to get rid of just because I've got the full set. Antarctic Press has 6 books coming out in April. The only one that I've ordered is Exciting Comics #11. That's out on the 28th. And I get this book from time to time, or I get it when Diamond will actually deliver it. As often as not, the copy that I've ordered at my local store never shows up. But this is Antarctic using an old title and public domain characters to give kind of a showcase to new and upcoming creators. So, it's kind of interesting to me. AWA Studios, or maybe it's AWA. I don't know. AWA sounds like a wrestling league. So I call it AWA. But they've got 3 books coming out in April. I've ordered 2. Erratic I've enjoyed. And #5 is out on the 28th. That's kind of a Spider-Man kind of a take. But Redemption #3, the first 2 issues are supposedly out already, and I haven't got either one. So Diamond has failed to deliver that book to my local store, and it's not that they've come in damaged and had to be returned and reorders placed, which with Diamond happens as often as not, but these books just never ever showed up, and so we've been trying to get reorders for them. Bad Idea. Oh, Bad Idea. This book was on my pre-order list, but I found out after I placed this pre-order that I can't get any Bad Idea books. Apparently they only have like a couple hundred stores that they will do business with, and my local store is not one of them. And they don't ship through Diamond or Lunar or anyone else. It's direct to these specific stores, and you know, ENIAC and Tankers both were books that, and you see, ENIAC's a number 2. I had ordered number 1 last month and just found out this month when I went to order number 2. After I sent the order to my local store, the manager contacted me and said, I'm never going to be able to get that. So it's too bad to find that out that late. But I wouldn't have been able to get it anyway through any other channel, so far as I can tell. And the thing about Bad Idea is it seems to me the strategy they have is really dedicated to creating scarcity so they can cash in on the books in the back issue market, which, I mean, to my mind, just as a legitimate publisher should not be soliciting books on like Kickstarter or Indiegogo or something like that. That's really not a legitimate use of that kind of platform. They also should not be concerned with back issue sales. They should be primarily concerned with, or not primarily, but solely concerned with the initial sale of the books to the retail outlet. But Bad Idea seems bent on creating scarcity so that it seems like what they intend to do is sort of hold back on some books that they will send themselves to CGC that they can take around to conventions and sell for $50, $100 a copy. So I don't know. Bad Idea has left a really bad taste in my mouth. So let me know what you think of Bad Idea. Mad Cave Comics, Nottingham number 2. I just got number 1. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but that's kind of a Sherwood Forest kind of thing. I figured, what the heck. And then finally, the last 3 of the 45 books that I am buying in April, all from Scout Comics, and these are the first 3 books I have ever ordered from Scout Comics. One is Unicorn, and that is out on April 21st, and that seems like another young female protagonist in a fantasy setting, thrown into some strange and unknown world. Adventures of Byron, War of Rotisserie, number 1, is out on April 28th, and that one, I just kind of ordered based on the solicited cover image. It just looked like it was going to be a fun kind of humor parody book, and so I thought I'd give it a try. And then Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, number 1, is something, again, just ordered it for shits and giggles to give it a try. And this looks very much in the vein of all of those Ninja Turtle imitators that we saw in the mid-'80s. You had a geriatric jujitsu gerbils and karate kangaroo killer koalas. I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about. Seems very much in that vein, and I thought, what the hell, I'll give it a try. So anyway, that is my pull list. Those are the 45 books coming out in April that I have pre-ordered, or actually 43, because 2 of them I will not be able to get. And, when Diamond gets done, when everything is said and done, maybe it'll only be about 30 or 35 books that I will actually get, that don't come in damaged or shorted or just completely missed. And again, the retail there is a little more than $100. Actually, no. That's almost $200 over my regular budget. But again, most of that is due to this big $150 book that I'll be saving for when it comes out in August. So let me know what you got. What is on your list that is not on mine? What are your thoughts on any of these books that I have spoken about here? And we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other.